I think he's muted. You need to unmute your mic.
Okay.
There you go. All
I
right.
muted myself because of the feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, with
I
Jerry
think
Lee
you
has
need
her-
to
we're in the same office.
yes.
Trying to move back further.
You might have to
Turn your staff
disconnect
over
one of
there.
the computers. Or the audio on one of the computers, I think.
Try it now.
You might have, yeah, to share from Jerry's or something. We can't hear you.
Okay, she's going to mute right now, and
Yes.
then she'll come back
That'll
on
Yeah.
when the time is right for her to unmute.
Okay, great.
And again, welcome. Thank you, everybody.
A little bit
We're
louder.
very excited for this partnership. Let's see if I am.
I'm gonna raise my volume over here.
Okay.
There we go. Can you all hear us okay? Would you give us a thumbs up if you can? Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. Again, I would just like to start off again. My name is Chris McKinney. I'm an education specialist for Region 1 GEAR UP. I specifically support the Harlingen schools. So I'm assisting Memorial. So I'm so happy that y'all are in the building and that we're going to be doing this pilot together. I also provide support right now to Coakley, Vernon, and Gutierrez. And of course, as you know, next year when you get to Cano, you'll all be students in the same school. So we look forward to that endeavor as well. But also in the room, Norma McCormick, who's already introduced herself and spoke to y'all about the background and how this pilot came to be. And we're very excited for this unique opportunity. And Jerry Lee is kind of hiding herself right now, and she's going to play an audio for you and see if you can recognize that voice. And I thank you, Annette Garcia. That was her idea. Some call Jerry Lee the voice of Channel 5 News. So we're going to see if y'all recognize some of the commercials and PSAs and things that she has helped over the years produce here from Channel 5 News. Also, Jess Martinez, thank you. Thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Ms. Wajardo. Everybody on the Harlingen CISD side for getting this together and making it happen and getting the students there. And we look forward to a wonderful pilot program, as we mentioned earlier. Want to make sure, and we're going to give you time as we work ourselves around the room to have those adults in the room there at MACA to go ahead and come up to the webcam and kind of introduce yourselves so that we all know the people in play and do your role within your staff position at HCISD and how you plan to assist or support this endeavor on your end. And of course, we'll be providing support as well. Zoom, as you're familiar with, it's like Skype or FaceTime. We plan on having 4 Zoom sessions to provide that support from Channel 5. And then we're going to have a face-to-face meeting in May. It's actually the 14th, not the 12th, as the flyer states, but we've corrected that. And then we're going to have a summer camp. So we're going to talk about that. Students, as a matter of fact, when this Zoom is over, I'm going to run from Westco down to Harlingen. So hopefully I can catch y'all before you break off and head back to Memorial and lunch. I'm also really excited to have Harlingen Cardinals in the house, helping and mentoring you and providing support along the way too, seeing what you might consider going into as you matriculate up to high school. So a lot of opportunities for you. We would love event, down the road, as Norma said, with this Channel 5 partnership, who knows if there's internships or other opportunities, shadowing opportunities where you can kind of come on, see the set, see what it's like, meet some of the personalities here at Channel 5, and maybe that's your liking, or maybe with your teacher, Marianne. I forgot to mention her. Thank you again for being here and for selecting your students. She's a radio personality, so maybe you want to pursue that angle. So again, this is all up to you. As far as Gear Up, we're in what we're calling the curiosity phase. As 8th graders, we want you to research the many opportunities and careers that are available to you so you can hopefully select the right path when you get to high school and eventually college of some sort to provide you the necessary skills, whether it's a certificate, an associate's degree, a bachelor's, master's, and beyond. There's many opportunities. We're going to be bringing some of those opportunities your way as we move through this pilot and beyond and into high school. Gear Up is here for the long haul. I'm sure as you meet your Gear Up facilitator, Mr. Zeke Rodriguez, he's been there for you for a year, and we plan on keeping him till you graduate class of 2024. So I've spoken enough. Do y'all have any questions before we move on and transfer?
Are we going to have the teachers introduce themselves so I can see them?
Yes, I would love to. That's kind of the next step. I just didn't know if you had any other questions for me. I'll come on. I was going to talk about some of the features, but we don't really need to go over like the chat feature because it's live. We can see you. You can see us. There's no reason to.
Who's that right there? There's a teacher right there.
Yes, my name is Ms. Guajardo, and I
Guajardo.
audio video. I have Cardinals as well as Harlingen Hawks. So I have a mixture of both. So seniors are here with me. They're here with me from 8:30 until close to 11. And these kids have produced music videos, mini movies, news packages that they love to do because I love broadcast. I have years of experience in radio and in TV, and the kids love working, of course, behind the scenes, the control room. They go and they visit with clients. They have a mixture of experience. And they're really looking forward to working with the 8th graders.
Thank you.
I'm the teacher at Memorial Middle School. I teach speech, and in that we also teach audio. I was the digital audio teacher for the high school. I have 23 years experience in radio and have done some TV. And I'm really, really happy that my students get an opportunity to work with the many voices I used to hear when I was working across the street when it was Clear Channel at the time. So very, very excited for them to see what our world encompasses, and hopefully we can get started very, very soon.
Thank you. Anybody else in the room that we need would like to introduce themselves? Anybody else there from Harlingen CISD?
We're good.
Okay. Okay, and I know that we were going to go over the protocols, but it seems like you guys, I mean, it's doing well. The camera's there. We can hear you. Everything's going fine. And I saw it where you stopped the camera, so we know all of those features are available. And you know what? Here at Region 1, we also have, it's very important for us as a nonprofit service center to be able to share our message out in the community and to be able to look at what that means and looks like, because we serve from Laredo all the way to Brownsville. We serve 450 plus, about 450,000 students, 38 charters, 38 districts, 10 charter systems. And so we have a person who's always looking at ensuring that our image out there in the community is great. We count on Annette to do so much, and she supports us so much with Gear Up. Yeah. We have a middle school playbook that we're launching that she and her creative department helped us get together. She has been our partner for many years, ensuring that our PSAs, our weekly stories that we used to do with Channel 5 are high quality. So she's our, she has a new title. She's coordinator. I don't know, you're going to introduce yourself. But she has an extensive background, and I wanted her to share a little bit about herself so that you know that you have all of this support and all of these people behind the scenes helping us get this together. So I wanted her to share a little bit about who she is and the support that she provides. So Annette.
All right, ready. Can everybody hear me? Yes? Thumbs up? Wonderful. Well, first of all, my name is Annette Garcia. I am the coordinator of the Office of Communications and Creative Services here at the Region 1 Education Service Center. And let me start off by saying, you guys really need to embrace these opportunities and realize how fortunate and lucky you are to be able to have these mentors work with you. I know you probably hear this a gazillion times throughout all of your activities, but it would have been awesome if when I was your age, I had somebody who was there who would be able to mentor me and share with me opportunities and tell me the careers that were available to me. When I was in high school, I graduated, let's just say many years ago, from Los Fresnos High School right down there, home of the Fighting Falcons. And so I was there at Los Fresnos, and I loved to write. I was a writer. So we really didn't have a whole lot of mentoring opportunities. So I had a wonderful teacher who just happened to be from Harlingen, and she told me, She says, you know what, you're great at writing. Why don't you be a reporter? And so I was like, all right, I'll be a reporter. I really didn't have anybody to guide me, to tell me about the many different jobs that were available to me because of the skills that I had in writing. So for you guys, I want you to really embrace this opportunity to learn as much as you can, and to realize that along the way in life, you may think that you want to be something today, that you have a chosen career today, but as life goes along and you learn different skills, you meet different people, you have different opportunities, sometimes that's going to change, and I would say that's perfectly all right. There's a lot of us here at the ESC who are still trying to figure out what we want to do when we grow up. So again, I'm the coordinator of the Office of Communications and Creative Services here at Region 1. I've been here for 22 years. Prior to that, I was a public information officer at the La Jolla Independent School District. But I earned my Bachelor of Arts degree from, this is going to date me a whole lot, from Southwest Texas State University, which is now Texas State University, and broadcast journalism. And then later I received my master's degree from the University of Texas Pan American. Now, I did have a short career in broadcast journalism where I was an anchor and a reporter for a television station down here in the Valley. And I was there probably before you guys were even born. But let's just say, so I had been there for a while and I liked what I did, but I didn't realize that there were other jobs that I could do because I was a writer. So as I was out there reporting and doing stories, I learned about this incredible job of a public information officer in school districts. So what I was able to do is use the writing skills that I had and be able to tell the good news stories every single day. I had a wonderful mentor at that time, Norma Zamora Guerra. She was the public information officer at McAllen ISD. And she told me about the job that she had and how she got into the field. And I thought, that's so cool. That's something that I want to do, that nobody ever told me there was such a job. So I had a few little jobs along the way to help me build my skill set so I would be able to work as an effective public information officer for a school district. I received the job. I got the job at La Jolla ISD, and it's just never been the same. I love the work that I do. As a coordinator of communications and creative services here at Region 1, I have a lot of duties. We hear a lot other duties is assigned, but my duties mainly include promoting and marketing the products and the services here at Region 1. We have a lot of different programs in addition to Gear Up, but a lot of different programs and initiatives. And so my job is to really promote those within the 38 school districts within here of our regional service center. And a lot of what that involves is creating promotional pieces, marketing pieces, so that would promote the services. So that would involve things like creating flyers and brochures, designing posters, writing a lot of news releases, working with the local news media as a liaison. I prepare and help prepare our staff here for news interviews and give a lot of trainings on how to work with the media. And I see a lot of the public relations activities. So I love my job because it's not the same thing every day. It gives me new opportunities to work with a lot of different folks. I work with a lot of people here at the service center who are just phenomenal. They challenge me every single day. I get to work with different programs, and I get to do things like this today, where I get to work with students and share the information that I had, and hopefully shine some light on giving you some ideas of things that maybe you want to do as you pursue your academics. One of the most challenging and fun programs that I get to work with here at Region 1 is the Gear Up program. Sometimes I joke when they call and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll just let it go to the answering machine because I know for sure that they're going to call me with something new and exciting, a new idea. And over the years, I've been challenged with Gear Up and with a lot of ideas to promote not only the great things that are happening within the Gear Up programs, but the fantastic things that are happening in our schools with our Gear Up students. And one of those challenges a couple of years back was to create scripts for PSAs, public service announcements, that would air over KRGV. And so what we do is we kind of sat and brainstormed some ideas. What is it that the ideas that we wanted to go across? And we realized we wanted to focus on educating our viewers about the Gear Up program and motivate families to start thinking about college, start talking about college within their families and their communities, how to start saving for college, and encouraging students like yourself to visit with your counselors to learn about different career paths out there and investigate those career paths. And so now with the Gear Up Media and Broadcast Mentoring Program, we're going to challenge you to do the same. as students interested in media and broadcast, guys, this is a tremendous opportunity for you to learn what goes into the development of a public service announcement. Over the course, as Norma had mentioned, over the course of the next couple of months, you're going to have the opportunity to work side by side with our partners at KRGV. They're masters at their craft, they're experts in their field, to learn about everything in developing a PSA from the conception, the idea of the conception, like when you get together in a room and you start tossing around some ideas, like what is the focus of this PSA? What is it that we want to do? What's the idea? Who's our target audience? All the way to the final product when you get to see it air on television. And let me tell you, I've done a number of these PSAs, I've written them, but it gives me such a thrill every time I'm watching television in the morning, getting dressed, and I hear the PSA, the KRGV PSA come out, and I'll tell my husband, hey, I wrote that. That's mine. I developed that. It gives you a lot of pride to see that finished product on the air. So I know that as you go through this process, you're going to run through some bumps. Sometimes you're going to feel a little like maybe I can't do this. Maybe it's harder than I thought. But I promise you, at the end of the session, when you see your finished product, you're going to feel such a tremendous amount of pride. And then after that, I promise it gets just a little bit easier. You're going to be mentored by KRGV staff members who are going to guide you through the entire process and share what they've learned along the way. And even if you think a simple PSA, that's easy. Well, that's what I thought at first, because I considered myself a pretty good writer. But let me warn you, as a writer, this is an entirely different kind of writing style. So you're going to have to learn to adjust that. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a little difficult sometimes. And you're going to try to put this entire idea together in 30 seconds or less, accounting for all the other action that goes in there. So it's going to be a little challenging at times, but stick with it. It's going to be great. Like I said, KRGV folks are going to be there with you along the way. Your fantastic teachers are going to be there with you to kind of help you along that process. And so our entire goal for this initiative is to help you develop those specialized skills in PSA writing. And if you're interested in a career in media and broadcast, this might give you a little taste of what options are available to you. I think a lot of the times when you hear that you want to have a career in broadcasting, you think it's going to be in front of the camera, you're going to be the on-air talent. But there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and the writing and the editing and the photography, that there's a multitude of careers out there. And so don't hold yourself just to one area. With this, kind of learn, like maybe this is something what I want to do, the actual writing part of it, and that will help you maybe in your career path. So at the end of this project, at the end of the couple of months that we're mentoring with you, we want to see what you've created. Keep in mind that this pilot project was designed especially for you students out there, for you at Harlingen CISD. Nobody else has tried this yet, so that's why we kind of had some glitches in the beginning, because we're still trying to figure this out. Stick with us, hold on with us. Realize that you're the first group out there, and that makes you pretty special because you're going to determine the success of this program. So as I said, at some points it's going to get a little difficult and you may feel challenged, but realize that all of us in our daily lives, your teachers included, have those challenges that we face, and it's just really important to learn from those. I always try to tell myself that my day is successful, not based on the amount of work that I do, but if I can learn something new that day, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know everything. I learn from other people. If you can learn something new every day, that's been a really successful day for you. So good luck. Take advantage of this learning opportunity. Soak up every tidbit of information that you can, and just remember to have fun along the way. So if you have any questions, I know I kind of ramble on a lot, but do y'all have any questions out there that I can maybe help you with?
No, we do have 5 minutes left with our high school students. They do need to take off at 9:30. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm good. So Norma, what do I do? Am I going to hand it over to Jerry Lee now?
Yes, it's going to go over to Jerry Lee now.
Okay, well guys, thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Have a good time out there. I'm going to kick it over to Jerry Lee. She's a promotions manager at KRGV. Jerry Lee, take it away.
Jerry, you need? Uh-oh, did it freeze? Uh-oh. Okay, so our other kids did take off, so we'll go ahead and we do have some high school kids left with these kids, and we'll just wait for Jerry Lee to hop on, and we'll be good to go. They're catching the bus right now.
Okay, so get acquainted with this group because you know that when South leaves, you're gonna hop on over there. Okay. This is Nora, by the way. She's awesome.
Okay, bear with us. We'll be right with you. Thank you so much for being so patient.
Thank you.
Rio Grande Valley is the Valley's only center of its kind, offering grief counseling to children and young adults at no charge. November is National Children's Grief Awareness Month. Show your support so every grieving child and young adult in the RGV will have access to competent, compassionate care when faced with the death of a loved one. Don't let bereaved children be forgotten mourners. Call the center today and find out how you can help. If you would like to be part of the KRGV Channel 5 team, we are currently seeking applicants for these full-time positions: News Director, Creative Services Producer, Engineer Technician, Executive Producer 5 News, News Producer Bilingual, News Reporter Bilingual, News Photographer Bilingual, Technical Director Master Control Operator Bilingual. Visit our website krgv.com. Look for the jobs under the Connect With Us tab. KRGV is an equal opportunity employer. Couch True Value and Johnny's True Value are two of the few family-owned and operated hardware stores in the Valley. 150 years of combined experience at both stores means professional customer service and great bargains for you. 20 pounds wild bird food, just $4.99. 6-foot folding tables are $34.99, and steel folding chairs are $13.99. 50 pounds pet expert dog food is only $16.99. Couch True Value Alamo and Johnny's True Value Harlingen Edcouch Edinburgh. Coming up tonight at 7:19, Grey's Anatomy at 8, A Million Little Things at 9, followed by 205 News at 10. Join the Children's Advocacy Center at our 10th annual Venus for a fabulous evening featuring fine wine, select craft beers, and tantalizing cuisine. The festivities include amazing music featuring the Texas show band Satellite and local favorites the Renaissance.
And look and see the information that is needed. Once you do that, once you add music, once you add that, once you add all of that onto your commercials, then it becomes a little bit longer. On TV, you can
So,
extend.
excuse me, I think, I don't know if you know, we already started. We're airing all the audio that Jerry Lee has done over the years for commercials. So I just want to make sure that you're aware that this is part of the presentation. So she's airing all the audio that she's done over the years.
Okay, yeah, we didn't know.
I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. That's how we're starting the session. Okay, thank you.
You can ask if they
So just move on to that.
So what do I do? I
you speak.
share screen.
And then now you can.
Be listening to some examples.
Okay, now she's gonna do that. So if
Yeah.
you want to just play that again, just do one or two.
Okay.
Yes, that is your group right there.
In children's hearts. The Children's Bereavement Center Rio Grande Valley is the Valley's only center of its kind, offering grief counseling to children and young adults at no charge. November is National Children's Grief Awareness Month. Show your support so every grieving child and young adult in the RGV will have access to competent, compassionate care when faced with the death of a loved one. Don't let bereaved children be forgotten mourners. Call the center today and find out how you can help. Coming up tonight at 7, Station 19, Grey's Anatomy at 8, A Million Little Things at 9, followed by Channel 5 News at 10.
Okay, so now how do I?
I'm sure y'all recognize that voice.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't see
When
me.
you go home today, turn on Channel 5 and you'll see her throughout the channel in different areas. There she is.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, that was something we added at the last minute, and I guess we had a little
Unavailing.
technical problem there. But if you recognize that voice, that's me. Now you have a face to go with the voice. I'm Jerry Lee Berg. I'm marketing coordinator for KRGV Channel 5. I've had several titles over my 39 years here at Channel 5, but writing commercials and PSAs is how I got started. Let me give you a little background. I'm from Harlingen, and I went to junior high in the very building that y'all are in. Back then, it wasn't Memorial. It was called Gay Junior High. I went to Harlingen High School when there was only one high school. So Cardinal Spirit never dies. Sorry about that, Hawks. And I attended Texas Christian University, TCU in Fort Worth as a theater major, but soon changed to radio, TV, film. And I graduated with a bachelor's degree in fine arts with a double major in radio, TV, film, and vocal performance. Over my years here at Channel 5, I've been awarded 8 Texas Association of Broadcasters Awards for public service events, and I've won 2 National Association of Broadcasters Awards for service to America, and those are only awarded to one TV station across the whole United States. So I'm very proud of those accomplishments. Today, I want to speak to you about creating and writing the perfect PSA for Gear Up, because that's our ultimate goal. And in general, when you create a PSA, you're trying to promote change. What do you want the world to know? And in this case, what do you want people to know about Gear Up? You could be targeting parents, students, the community, or teachers. Once you're given that topic and you know who your audience is, then you can begin to put something together that will create emotion and make people take note and have a favorable action. But I don't want you to start with Gear Up. I want you to create a PSA of your own liking, so to speak. I want you to have the creative ability to create a PSA about a social issue that you're passionate about. Then after all of this is created, then you can start dwindling down to Gear Up. But I want you to have the fun of being creative on your own. So does that sound good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so I'm sure that y'all have heard a few of these, and maybe you're too young, but I'm going to play some PSAs for you and see how they affect you. So we're going to go share, right? And why are they not up here? Where are the format?
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool. Are they seeing it?
No, we can't see it.
Uh-oh. Okay, let me try this again. It all worked yesterday.
Go to the launch up the top. Okay, come back.
Okay. Because I did share screen. Where's my, isn't there another tab?
Yeah, go into that and see if they're
Okay, so we drowned the fire.
Yep.
Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear.
Go, can I? Just can't afford to send you.
Questions? Is one
something useful, something better. But they called me trash, junk, garbage. They said that I was done, that I could never be anything more. That's where they were wrong. I was going to prove it. There were bumps and bruises along the way, but I never gave up. Even when I felt hopeless. I knew that if I kept going, kept trying, that one day look at me now. I found my purpose. I make a difference.
Did you know that if we recycling, not only would our landfills be packed, but all the earth would be filled with garbage which takes years and years to break down? Do you want your kids living on top of a garbage dump? I didn't think so. Also, out of all the garbage in the world, we could recycle 75%, but we only averaged 30%. In 1973, there were no curbside recycling programs. Now there are over 8,660. Now here are some things that we learned from our visit to the international paper. Cardboard recycling started around 1960. Fiber can be recycled 7 times, and plastic takes 150 years to break down. Why recycle, you ask? Here are some reasons. Cleaner environment in the future and now, reduces energy consumption, creates jobs, and allows more cash flow. That's great.
Okay, so that was a few examples of some PSAs, and as you saw, like with the environmental piece, you can use something as simple as a plastic bottle as long as you're getting your message across. The concept development is the most fun. It can be the most challenging if you're technical and not creative. We're going to get started here. First, you should have a creative meeting. Get your whole team together so that everyone knows what the accomplishment is supposed to be. Everyone knows what you're trying to accomplish, and everybody's on the same page. So if you have pen and paper, the first thing, I'm sorry? Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose a topic. You should pick a subject that is important to you, as well as one you can visualize. Think television. Keep your focus narrow and to the point. More than one idea can confuse your audience, so have one main idea per PSA. Now it's time to do research. You have to know your stuff. Try to have the most current, up-to-date facts on your topic. Statistics and references can add to your PSA, but you want to be convincing and accurate. 3, consider your audience. As I mentioned before, you are targeting parents, teens, teachers, or a social group. That's with Gear Up. Now, with the PSA that you decide to create, you may have a different target audience. But you need to consider your target's audience's needs, preferences, as well as the things that might turn them off. They are the ones you really want to rally to action. The actions suggested by the PSA can be almost anything. It can be spelled out or it can be implied. Just make sure that your message is clear. You want to grab your audience's attention. You might use visual effects, an emotional response, humor, or surprise to catch your target audience. Be careful. Do not use scare tactics. Attention getters are needed, but they must be carefully selected. For example, when you're filming a PSA about controlling anger, a glass frame, picture frame of a family can be shattered on camera. This is dramatic, but it's not melodramatic. Staging a scene with 2 angry people to convey the same idea is more difficult to do effectively, especially since you have to have very good talent. 5, you want to write a script and use the KISS method. And KISS stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. A 30-second PSA will typically require about 5 to 7 concise assertions. Highlight the major and minor points that you want to make. Be sure the information presented is based on up-to-date, accurate research, findings, and/or data. Storyboard your script. If you're an artist, you can draw out the shots. If not, you will have to describe what you want to take place in the video section. I'm going to show you some storyboard ideas in just a second. And then when you film footage and edit your PSA, you will hear and learn about filming and editing in the coming weeks. Once you've completed your PSA, you'll find your audience, get their reaction, and is it the action that you expected? Are they inspired? Okay, so now I'm going to show you some storyboard ideas. And let's see, where are those? I need to pull those up from my computer. Sorry. Or do I need to go into the, yeah. Okay. Oh. You can share your budget. I'm sorry. Oh, no. had it the other day. Why am I not? That's, I had it down here. How do I? What do I do? Okay, don't I go here to get it?
They're providing, they're gonna bring you storyboards in a little bit. Huh? Storyboards are where they're going to kind of map out what actually be visualized in that. Right here, the right ideas, and then
Stop sharing it. I can
Stop other screen sharing. Yes or no?
You can shrink.
Okay, while they set up, I wanna talk to you a little bit and ask you for some feedback on the PSAs you just saw. I wanna hear your reactions. So if I can have at least one person from every table there tell me what they thought about those PSAs. How did they make you feel? Did they inspire you to take any action? What did you think about them? Let me hear from you. So if I can hear from every table there, a representative from every table, I want to hear what you thought about the PSAs. Did they inspire you to take any action? How did they make you feel? So you decide who's going to speak for the group, but I want to hear from you because this needs to be two-way communication. That's why we have Zoom technology, so that we can talk to you and you can talk to us.
Coming up in the
Okay, so just think about what those PSAs made you think about and what they made you feel, because you're going to be creating as a team a PSA that's going to be out there, and hopefully we can, I would love, this is an idea, you might not want to do it yet, but I would love for us to have some sort of viewing session where we all get together in your auditorium and we view your PSAs, and you invite your families, and we have an event there, like a culminating event at the end of our summer camp. I think I have a volunteer right there who wants to share.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Are we making multiple PSAs or one per group?
So what we were thinking, and we want to share this with you, is we were thinking of maybe having 5 groups of 4, where you have a team that has a writer, an editor, somebody who films, and I don't know what would be the other role, Jerry, but you can help us through that. But a team of 4 that would get together, like a producer director, I guess would be the other role, that would get together and brainstorm a PSA per team. I think there's 20 of you there, right?
Yes, but some of our high school students leave at 9:30, so we would have to have.
I don't know how we are going to make that work. We have to talk about that and figure that out.
It's working out.
We're gonna have to brainstorm that one, because that's a little tough to do a 30-minute. So right now what we plan for is the 20 students from the middle school, but we will gladly figure out how do we integrate the students from the high school, because we really want that mentoring opportunity with them also. And I know that they have a lot of experience and they could help us with the middle school students. So what we might have to do moving forward is do the mentoring at the beginning between the high school and the middle school students. And then we come in, let's brainstorm that one, okay? And you all give me feedback as to what you think would work. But that's the long-term goal. Sure. And so as we're moving forward, we're seeing this as we're gonna have 4 sessions with Channel 5, but you're gonna start creating the PSA together, and then you're gonna have all the way through, if you want to, all the way through the end of the year to have this product. And then, like I said, we could do a viewing where we could have it at your auditorium, and you could share your PSAs with everybody. You could invite us and your families to see that. I think that would be exciting. And I definitely want to make sure we figure out how to include the high school students. Maybe we need to change our schedule and go a little bit earlier, 8:30 or something like that.
I just have a question. So, I'm sorry. So right now, do they create, like getting groups and create 1 or 2 PSAs and then decide which one is the best one that they want to go to? Do they select that, or how do we, because, you know, they all have different ideas. So what about if we just have them just, you know,
we're going to pick from the script.
So the goal is, first of all, Jerry Lee is going to go through the storyboard and how do you go about brainstorming and selecting. But you want a team that has a writer, an editor, somebody that's going to work at filming and producing and directing. So it's going to be, we recommend like a team of 4 people. You don't have to select right now your teams, but you do want to have representatives that can do those areas and are comfortable doing that. So it's not like we're going to do everything in this session. I recommend to follow up as you are meeting with your teachers in your speech classes and continue to work on this. So the next time we go over, it'll be editing and we can talk about it. So between now and the next time, there is homework to be done, which is figuring out who the team will be, who will be in the team, and then brainstorming what you're interested in doing as a PSA, right? So we haven't formed teams yet. Okay, so I want to make sure that's clear. And it's a process. So we do need to work through this process, and it takes time to kind of put it all together. So I'm going to hand it over to Jerry Lee. I think she's ready with the storyboard.
Did it go?
Yes.
Okay. Here's one example of a storyboard. As you can see, this would be for somebody like me who's not very artistic. Your audio would be typed up here, and you can draw little pictures. And then we're going to show you, hang on just a second.
Click on the one you want first, so it's open.
Okay.
Click it all the way open.
Yeah, I had this in a different
then you'll spot it.
format the other day, is why it worked better. Here's another one for somebody who is very good artistically, or perhaps can get pictures and put it together, or trace pictures. You would have audio at the top, And, or you can have what the person is doing in the scene written at the top. But that's another example of a storyboard. And let me just give you a couple more. What happened to them?
Just shrink that down.
Okay. All right. And here's another one that's not too artistic, but it gets the job done. As you can see, it says establishing the shot of the classroom. One student is snoring, one sits up and alarm over assignment. So here's the teacher with the assignment, the kid sleeping, and the other one who jumps up. Student feeling overwhelmed, and the voiceover would say, "I've never done this." And then the camera slowly pans to make space. So I think y'all get the idea of storyboard. And then I want to show you one. If I can get it over here.
Guys, pay attention, please. Thank you.
Where's my script and storyboard? I have a script. The script with the PSA, I sent it to you.
In a minute, you have an opportunity to plan.
Yeah, suicide prevention.
So, right.
PSA storyboard, maybe it's that one.
That was the first one.
Okay, then it's the first, it's that one. I don't see that one on here.
Like the flyer, like the right, this one.
Yeah, but I don't see it over here.
Okay, let's see if I can show.
I should put the USB. I totally forgot. There we go. So, where is it? And here's the spot. It's just not the script. Okay, so
Yeah, it's CCMH. If you look on that CCMH,
where?
on this. And see if we can
Yeah, but
find
I
it.
don't have it saved. It's not mine. That's why it was over there.
Oh,
Okay, I mean, I can look at it from my email.
okay.
Do I stop share?
Yeah, stop here.
Where's
You
stop
can
share?
just exit out.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, gang.
At this time, I'm seeing, did we have another group of students leave? I want to make sure as we're planning forward that we consider all of these different variables. So we're good? We still have the same 20 students till 11?
Click it. And then shrink it. Just like that. And now go back to the Zoom and share, and it should pop up as an option. Click share.
Okay, here's another one. This is how we do things here at Channel 5. You've got your video on one side that opens with an empty chair. Then you have a close-up mid shot of teenager's leg walking. Over here's your audio. There's one death by suicide every 12 minutes. And then the middle is your graphics or your special effects. So you have video, graphics, audio. And then I'm going to show you the finished PSA. Get out of this. Where is that finished PSA? I had it. I just saw it. I know you have it over there. I'm sorry, gang. I had this all set up on a USB, and that's what I should have put in this morning. Do it from here.
Yeah, that's the one that's transfer, but
Yeah. Okay. So now I squeeze this down. And then
share. Go here. Okay.
Large it. Go away.
It kind of just go down a little bit. It fades away, and then.
Okay. Here we go.
There's one death by suicide every 12 minutes. Every 12 minutes. There's one suicide for every estimated 25 attempts. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for people ages 15 to 24. If you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, text a trained crisis counselor at 741-741. It's a tough conversation. There is hope. We need you here. There's one death by suicide.
And then just for me to talk?
Yes, ma'am. So you don't even share. Just talk.
Okay.
Okay, you're here. You're good.
Okay, so let me just, I apologize for all the problems today. It's our first time, that's live television. Lots of problems happen. Again, let me get the message across that you need to be clear, simple, and target your intended audience. Take advantage of your interest and practice important critical thinking and literacy skills because you will be spreading important social, economic, and political topics. This exercise will allow you to create a topic that you are passionate about. Once these have been completed and reviewed, then you'll be ready to move on and work on a PSA for Gear Up that will ultimately end up airing on Channel 5 and be placed on the Gear Up website. Some ideas that you might come up with, just to give you a little help, are environmental, like saving our sea life from fishermen's nets or plastic straws that kill our precious sea turtles. That's just one idea. Do y'all have any questions for me? No questions?
I don't think so.
They're still letting it marinate. They will probably have some a little bit later. They're just kind of soaking it all in.
Yeah, I mean, what I picture is you have your group, you come up with an idea, you write a script, we'll review them. Next time you'll be with Izzy Alfaro. And actually, I think Izzy doesn't want to do Zoom. He wants to be there and work with you hands-on for filming with the camera, lighting, and audio. And Izzy is fantastic, and y'all will really like him. So if y'all don't have any questions, I guess my part is done. And again, I apologize for it not running smoothly because our practice went a whole lot smoother. But this is our first one. So Murphy's Law.
We do appreciate your time and your expertise. Of course, we'll take that, and the kids will start brainstorming right now and a couple of ideas from what we saw. And then we'll have them talk to our high school mentors right now, and we'll get them working, and hopefully the next time that we meet, we'll have a better understanding of what it is that we're going to do. But very, very much enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry Lee, for your help and your assistance and supporting us today. And students, I want to talk to you about and teachers also. You know, when we are, as we know, when we're working on something new, something innovative, something creative, it takes time to figure out how to roll out all the pieces. So one of the things I recommend with your teachers is to figure out who's going to be in your teams. And we were recommending 5 teams of 4 people each, so that each person in the team would have a role. So we would have a writer, an editor, somebody who's going to be working with a camera, and somebody who's going to be like directing the work. So I don't know if you all are thinking that would work. I wanted to ask you.
As a teacher right now, because of who we have available for mentors, we have already adjusted who's going to be where, and we can certainly assign groups, but we do have our groups ready, and they're already set up in regards to what we want to do. Right now, what we would like for them to do is to get started on brainstorming. They do have one mentor per group that's high school, because our other half of our kids leave, so we don't want to leave students without a mentor. That's why they're in right now.
Perfect. So you're going to spend the time now brainstorming ideas to see what topic you would like for your PSA?
Absolutely. And as a teacher, I do have a lesson developed already on PSA writing. We're going to take what Ms. Jerry Lee said, and we're going to incorporate it with that lesson. And we're going to go ahead and begin the brainstorming process with these mentors.
If you don't mind, I'd like to be signed on just to see how the process goes.
Absolutely.
Just to see how we can support you as you're going through it.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's part of it. Would that be okay, Charlie? I don't know if that would work for you.
Sure.
Okay.
11.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the things that we were talking about and thinking about, Norma, if you can hear me, obviously the last kind of PSA script that Channel 5 was on the top of, where they have the video, the graphics, and the audio that ended up being that suicide commercial PSA, the finished product, is you're going to have different roles. And that's what we'd like to do when you're considering the groups, is you're going to have the artistic person that can maybe be the doodler, the one that can be the scribe. You're going to have a creative person. You might have one of these kind of OCD perfectionists that's going to be the editor. You know, there's different roles. There's a filmer, someone's really been really good with their camera or taking pictures. You know, they're posting social media all the time. They get the angles, the lighting. I mean, everybody has a strength and something they can bring to the table. And so it'd be really nice if you could, you know, kind of stagger the groups where they each have, you know, these different strengths within the groups, so they can all kind of chip in, you know, they all have their own ideas, and that's going to be tough. Maybe to, you know, the brainstorm may have a great ideas, but how do you just choose one? And so that's something that we'll kind of flush out as time goes on. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. You know, maybe you can each, if there's, you know, 5 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 5, you can have 4 or 5 different PSAs and work your way through, and everybody have their own, or you can all come together over time and select 1 or 2 for the entire class. I mean, that's something that isn't set in stone. And just
yeah, and I hear them. They already have their groups, and they already have an assigned mentor right there. So you all can start through the brainstorming. We'll be here just to see how we can help you.
Everybody is creative from their own perspective.
Yeah.
So when you have your creative meeting, you know, the person writing the script is going to visualize in their head how they want it to come out.
Yes.
When you start getting down to filming, and maybe the lighting isn't quite right, or, you know, you're not getting the shot that you want, that's where, you know, your photographer is going to come in and say, I can give you this shot that's better. And then when you get to the editor, he may say, oh, I can do this dissolve, I can add this special effect. So everybody is creative from their own perspective and their own talents. And you just have to be willing to put it all together to make the best PSA you can.
Yeah, and right now we're going to have, like I said, these students, because they have no experience in television at all, so they have no idea what a dissolve is. They have no idea as yet. So they'll be working and hopefully working with these mentors to getting to know what it is that we need to do. So we're very excited, very excited. You ready, guys?
Yes.
Yay. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead and begin then. Let's go ahead and get started.
Really excited. By the end, they're going to be smiling.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, I need one person over here. Angelina, let me move you over here. I need one of you to move over here. Rock, paper, scissors. All right, please. And one of you boys to move. Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, Drew, over here. I made a choice. I gave you the option. All right, let's go, please. Now, mentors teachers explain to me what camera work is, what dissolve is, and all the explain the shots, all that stuff. So that they have a better understanding once they start brainstorming, and they can start seeing it in their heads. All right. Mentors, again, please explain to your students what camera shots are, what dissolve is, and all that, so my students can get a better understanding of how the TV world works.
You know, and sometimes, can y'all hear me? Yes. Sometimes it's like I may visualize this flash going across the screen, but I'm not the editor. So, you know, I'll be like, I want this swoosh or I want this flash. And they're the ones that have to go, okay, I know what program has that.
Yeah.
And they show you several different ones and you pick it. So sometimes you don't really know what to call. You know, I want this special effect and it's going to come in and be like lightning striking, boom. And, you know, they're the ones that help you out to achieve those kinds of things.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking brainstorming the concept for your PSA would be what you want to do right now. What are areas that interest you that you would like to share as a public service announcement with the community? That's kind of what we're asking, like with the brainstorming. What would that content be that you're interested in? Spending time to talk about it as a group is very important, and then you all come to some sort of agreement.
And who knows, if it comes out really, really good, we may air that one too. So
yay. That'd be great.
Right now, you're brainstorming for a night. So right now, as she said, right now on your Jerry,
Yeah.
there's going on.
Other technical people, so probably not going to have finding it. Yeah. Because what's Zoom? Like what's coming?
Yeah, I'm taking a picture.
They don't know how they are. They have all those Macs and all those programs. It's like we can kill for
Just like you guys. A couple of them, fine, you know. Thumbs up. That's key auditory emotion.
All right.
I know. It's like everybody on
Anybody have an idea so far?
Yeah.
And want to share?
I want to hear. What are you thinking?
All right, guys, you want to share any of your ideas for what you may have?
Yeah.
Somebody wants to share.
Yeah, right there. See?
They're excited that they put their hands down.
Oh.
Have them come up to the webcam.
All right, I have one student right here.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Robbie. Right here, front and center.
There you go. Front and center.
My name is Robbie Rodriguez. My idea was with plastic, recycling and all that stuff. So with recycling plastics, you can also use for backpacks, which backpacks help students with education and helping them hold books for school. So it'd be cool to talk about.
Love it.
So making backpacks out of plastic and then giving them to kids that maybe can't afford a backpack?
Because it makes it cheaper for productivity and manufacturing.
That's an awesome idea.
I love it.
Great job.
Thank you for sharing.
Anybody else? Miranda?
Miranda. Thank you, Miranda.
No pressure.
Oh, they know me already.
Show your script.
We want to talk about the ocean and how the pollution and like space, recycling, like different kinds of topics about the ocean.
Okay, but remember
let's just remember that you can pick a topic, any topic. Let's not all do the ocean.
The environment.
That was just to give you an idea of something you can start with, but there's so many things out there.
But I love it because you could actually go film at the island and talk about the environment and taking care of it and all, we have all of that available around here.
All right, anybody else want to share? Again, keep in mind, like Miss Jerry Lee said, there are plenty of other topics you all can talk about, not necessarily recycling. All right, anybody else want to share?
The Humane Society.
Social issues, education.
Educational issues.
Social.
Bullying's really big.
Yeah,
right now.
bullying. Wow, you
Right
can
now,
take
like
diabetes, heart disease. I mean, there's so many things out there.
Yeah.
If you all have your phone, you can research topics. You can take them out, start researching particular topics that you all can discuss.
And let me ask you something. If they decide, for example, to do something like, let's say, on the ocean, are you all able to do like a visit to the island to go film over there? Is that possible or not?
Yeah, we can't take them out.
No?
No.
It's not possible.
I don't think at this moment yet. We would have to discuss it with our principals.
It might be something maybe for the summer. We do a summer camp or something like that.
We could possibly toss around that idea.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also find stock footage that's free.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of sea turtles and ocean life, etc.
Now, let me ask, Miss Jerry Lee, when you need stock footage, where do you get your stock footage from? And is it accessible to everybody, or is it just a library that you guys use?
You have to go online and look for, we have multiple sources. We have things that we purchase, but you can also go online and just Google free video. You just have to make sure that it's completely free and can be reused at your discretion.
Okay.
Another thing is, if you're creating a PSA for us, is if you put music, it has to be music that we're allowed to air. So it would have to be royalty free, or we could use something from our library, because you can't use a top 40 song, or you have to have music rights for them. So
okay, keep in mind, guys, whenever you're planning, did you all hear what she said? You cannot use a song like we can't put Drake on there, we can't put Lizzo. I'm sorry, none of that. Do you all use firstcom.com or by chance?
We are using well, it used to be Network, but it has a new name.
Okay.
Sorry, can't think of it right off the top of my head.
Okay, so then we'll have to find your music online.
It was Killer Tracks and Network, and now it's something else.
Miss Mary Ann, if I can interject, one of the things, because we're at a service center, we do a lot of PowerPoints and do, information that we share out with the public. And sometimes you want to have that video, that captures what you're trying to get across. So when you do look for videos, sometimes they're trademarked or they have it where there's permissions that need to be granted or there's a cost involved. But a lot of times if you reach out to that person, that entity, that company, and you tell them it's for educational purposes, it's for this class, a lot of times they'll waive that and they'll let you use it. And they just say, all you need to do is footnote where you got it. So that helps promote them. If it does become part of the PSA, they get some free advertisement out of it.
Well, we would have to have a contract that says, give us permission to air it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, music is very tricky. We can't just like put it up there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of video and
I mean,
photos, but that doesn't mean that you can access them.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I had asked about firstcom.com because we have license to that.
Yeah, I think that's what we have, FirstCom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay. That way, if it is that you do have license to that, it's the same music beds and you should be covered and we should be fine.
Text somebody and double check, but I'm pretty sure that's who we have. Anybody else got an idea that's different? Everybody on the front row there in the blue is so excited. Your idea.
What now?
All right, ready?
Thank you.
A little closer towards the chair.
That's good. That's good. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Deontay. Hi, my name is Deontay. What's your idea? Don't be embarrassed, come on.
My idea is to help the less fortunate.
Oh, I love it.
So, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember how we talked about in class where you have one main idea and then you bring it down to something. We want to know about the less fortunate. Do you want to focus on hunger? Do you want to focus on what? Well, see, with the PSA, you got to narrow down your idea because you can't have a bunch of ideas going around. Notice that when they did the PSAs there, they focused on fire prevention. But they didn't talk about
now, when you say help the less fortunate, you need to narrow it down to with clothing, with food, with housing, what it is you want to help them with.
Well, you got to have one idea. Only one. It's. Guys, remember that web we did in the classroom where we talked about your main idea and then you broke it down further? Just like Ms. Jeremy said, if you're doing helping the less fortunate, what do you want to do? You web it out. Do you want hunger? Do you want housing? Or do you want something else? And then focus on that idea. All right, look at the PSA for Smokey the Bear. They were talking about fires, but they didn't mention saving, the trees and making less paper. You know what I mean? They just focused on one idea.
We don't want to look at political issues because that's not something that.
All right, we have somebody else that would like to share an idea and run it by you guys.
Okay.
Come on, Catherine. You can do it.
Thank you.
I'm Catherine Torres, and the idea that we had is about vaping, how teenagers think that it's cool, but it really hurts you, and how to
prevent?
Yeah, how to prevent it. And how.
That's good. That's a very hot topic right now.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, you need to show people how important it is to stay away from that.
Thank you.
Really like it.
Okay, so then we can focus on, what do you think? His idea was maybe a homeless shelter.
Some of you already have ideas. Are you starting to like work out scripts or shot ideas?
Yes.
Storyboarding? Yes or no?
One more.
He's like ready to go. He's on it. I got a great idea. I know what I want to do.
I have another student.
Okay, step up closer to the webcam.
Right there. Okay, can y'all see her?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Our topic is about social anxiety, in teenagers.
About what?
Social anxiety in teenagers.
Anxiety. Oh, okay.
Great idea.
Mental health.
Yep. Perfect.
Yes.
There's a lot of that. Excellent.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, she said to add instead of the ocean. I'm sorry.
We're not talking about squish the ocean. We just want you to realize there's a lot of other topics.
I love it. That's a great topic. You know, it's a growing area of support. So I would love to see a PSA about it.
All right, so we have one group that said on recycling, one on mental health. Have we decided what groups we're going to do? And here, have y'all decided? No? All right, so I have three groups who have a definitive idea of what their practice PSA is going to be about. So they'll get their practice in on the writing and everything, and then we'll work towards creating that Gear Up PSA, but at least they'll get their feet wet and understand, okay, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and this is how we should be writing, and taking into consideration Jerry's or Ms. Berg's ideas and stuff like that. So they have a practice storyboard as well. All right, guys.
Sounds good. I'm excited. I have some great ideas.
Well, I think that this time, should we just sign off? And if you have any follow-up questions, you can let us know. Would that work? I said at this time, do you want us to sign off? And if you have follow-up questions, you can let us know, or we can stay on to 11. It's up to you.
Do you guys want to keep them on there in case you have questions, or are we good? We're good? Cool. Yeah, we're just brainstorming for the moment. We can definitely email you. Is your email still the same, Ms. Berg?
Yes, jerrylee@krgv.com.
Okay, yeah, I have that ingrained in my memory because of sweeps. All right, thank you so much, Ms. Berg. We definitely are very excited to have your expertise on board, and we look forward to working with you again.
Excited to see what y'all come up with. Just remember, keep it simple.
Remember KISS, guys.
Keep it simple.
Not just the band.
Okay, before we sign off, I just want to kind of remind y'all or let you know about the remaining sessions that we have scheduled. The next one will be where you're going to take place at MACA unless we have some additions. But the next Zoom session is scheduled for February 27th on filming with Izzy Alfaro. But he said that to do filming over the Zoom would be a challenge, so he'd much rather go in person. So I think we're going to make a little adjustment on that case. The following month, in March, on the 25th, we'll have Hector Montalvo help with editing. So by then, you'll have kind of flushed out some ideas. You're honing in. You've already done your brainstorming, and now you're ready to take that next step after you've done some filming shots. Then you'll kind of crop things down to start shrinking to the PSA 25, 30-second type.
Yeah, remember, it needs to be 29 seconds, 29 and a half seconds.
Very specific, precise.
Yeah, we do have PSAs that run a minute, but it's going to be hard to place those on air. So let's make them 30 seconds, but we do have to have them 29 and a half.
29.5 or what, 29.4?
29:30. Now you time it in the video. So.
And then on April 30th, we have the graphics, and then we hope to have the completed product by May 14th, and that's when Hector Montalvo, who's going to help with the editing piece in March, he'll come back live like Izzy will next month and work with you hand-to-hand combat. And that's kind of when you are, I know we're meeting with Ms. Guajardo and of course Ms. Marianne, that we're going to have the finished product that's going to be a grade or all that kind of good stuff, that whether it's a challenge, I mean, we're going to flesh this out on getting these PSAs, starting with your personal ones and then migrating over to the Gear Up message. And that's the one in all likelihood that we'll see about airing on Channel 5, as well as the Harlingen website, the Memorial Middle School website, Facebook, Twitter, wherever HCISD, Channel 5, and Gear Up lets us put it out there as far as social media. So we're very excited about this.
And let me just say, Harlingen CISD has provided y'all with the best equipment. We were so impressed when we toured the facility. Y'all have stuff that's better than what we have. We've got tons of, Mac computers and all kinds of stuff. So we were really impressed with that. We want to come over there and do our stuff. So y'all need to be grateful for what Harlingen CISD is doing for you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much for making this such a great success. I really think the most powerful thing is the mentoring part. So thank you for including us in this. And we will do some follow-up face-to-face. The director of this grant, Alma Cavazos, is going to be joining Chris to go visit the middle school and just see what other supports you need and the follow-up. And so we look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Jerry, for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate your partnership. Have a great day, everybody.